Most people, their associations are to avoid anything that's uncomfortable. It's so illogical. Discomfort is your friend. It really is. Discomfort, not being happy and content with certain situations in life, they're massive, massive motivators. They're amazing at facilitating change, yet our instinct is to avoid those and just sit on the couch and watch some fucking reality show. It's bizarre. When I get really disciplined and really consistent with my workouts, I almost feel momentum. I feel like there's push behind me, like, all right, yeah, now I'm doing sweat, I want to strain, I want to sweat, I want to strain, I want to sweat, I want to strain, I want to sweat, I want to strain. Get that good feeling, get that good feeling, get that good feeling. I want to sweat, I want to strain, 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 I want to sweat, I want to strain. Get that good feeling, get that good feeling, get that good feeling. Yeah, now I'm doing it. Yeah, now I'm doing it. I'm doing it all the time now. I'm looking forward to the next time, and it makes that resistance much weaker, and it makes my motivation and my discipline much stronger. I think a lot of it is based on just the consistency. Blowing something off is not just bad for you physically, it's also bad mentally, because then that option is now available. The option to fuck off. You did it before, and you're probably going to do it again, and you'll get mediocre results, not just in that aspect of your life, maybe in all aspects of your life. That option to fuck off, when you embrace it, that is a pathway that you might choose when it comes to dealing with conflict in your personal life, business decisions, career decisions, like an uncomfortable decision that you might be faced with, what your pathway is in life, but you don't do it. Instead, you fuck off. And that inclination to fuck off, that gathers momentum as well. The inclination to be disciplined, that comes with momentum. I think both things. You take a path. I want to sweat, I want to strain, I want to sweat, I want to strain, I want to sweat, I want to strain, I want to sweat, I want to strain. Get that good feeling, get that good feeling, get that good feeling. I want to sweat, I want to strain, 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 I want to sweat, I want to strain. Get that good feeling, get that good feeling, get that good feeling. It feels great. Of the fuck off, your body is like a race car that you can juice up yourself. Like, you can add the fat tires, you can add improved suspension, you can beef up the horsepower of the engine. You can do all that yourself. Or you could just choose to have this shitty body. No one's under the illusion you're gonna live forever, but you are enhancing the experience that you're currently involved in right now. You are alive, you do experience this life, but do you experience this life optimally? Is it as enjoyable as it can be? And we all know that there's a spectrum for that enjoyability. Like, we've all had times in our life where it's not been so great, and then times in our life everything came together like, what a fucking great day, woo! Great day, woo! Great day, woo! Great day, woo! Make more of those! Make more of those! Make more of those! You can make more of those, and then the whole thing's better, and then the whole thing's better, and I think when that whole thing is better, it affects everybody you touch, everybody that's around you, everybody you come in contact with, and that in turn, I mean, it sounds so grandiose, but in turn can affect the entire race of human beings. The big one is the stoned ape theory. Terence McKenna's theory was the reason why the human brain size doubled over a period of 2 million years, and he equates it to the time where the climate changed and rainforests receded into grasslands, and these monkeys climbed down from trees, started experimenting with new food sources. They would flip over cow patties to find like bugs and beetles and shit. When they saw mushrooms growing on the cow patties, certain groups of these monkeys started eating these mushrooms. Two things happened. One, it increased their visual acuity. It made them be able to see much better. And then the other thing that happened is it made them horny. So here you have these better hunters. They can see things better. They can throw things and they're more accurate. And then they're horny, so they're gonna fuck. And then, of course, if they're eating plates of these fucking things, they're gonna have psychedelic experiences. And if you're a monkey, maybe, and if you have psychedelic experiences every day, it's like a force-fed evolution thing. It's like a force-fed evolution thing. Psychedelic experiences every day, every day, every day. Psychedelic experiences every day, every day, every day. Psychedelic experiences every day, every day, every day. Monkeys in space. Monkeys in space. If we figure out eventually we are all one thing, these spores are all like, they can go in a vacuum in space. They can travel in extreme cold and extreme heat. They can absorb radiation and not get damaged. And they can travel from other planets. Like if a meteor hits, a chunk of this planet can get knocked off, gets sent flying into space, and it lands on another planet. And those spores get to give birth on this planet and just communicate with all the animals that are here. When you have a DMT trip, it feels like communication with intent, but with no words. I understand exactly what you're saying, but I understand it more as like a wave. It's like a very clear and obvious wave of information. One of the times I had this DMT trip, the DMT things, same thing, relax and don't give in to astonishment. But they're not using words. That's the next shit, man. Psychedelic experiences every day, every day, every day. Psychedelic experiences every day, every day, every day. Psychedelic experiences every day, every day, every day. Monkeys in space. Monkeys in space. Psychedelic experiences every day, every day, every day. Psychedelic experiences every day, every day, every day. Psychedelic experiences every day, every day, every day. Monkeys in space. Monkeys in space. Starting to look at this, they're starting to back up, starting to look up at the sky. They're starting to look to the left and look to the right and go, whoa, what the fuck is this? What is this thing we're doing here? Because this isn't just, we're living life. In the beginning, Bob was a baby. Bob went to high school, then college. He played a bit of football before settling down with his... No. That's the kind of shit we made up to make ourselves feel more comfortable. I mean, those events are actually taking place. Now, there's going to school, but that doesn't mean shit. Okay, I really need something is we're flying through the fucking universe. Flying through the fucking universe. We're in space. We are in a ship. It's an organic ship. We're not on the ground. We're not on the ground. We're flying. I'm afraid to be in space in a spaceship. You're on a spaceship right now. It's just fucking huge. It's a 24,000 mile across spaceship. Okay, it's a spaceship. That's what it is. Okay, it's a spaceship. We're not grounded. It's not like the universe is a solid mass and we're sitting on it. We're flying. We are right now hurling, and we're spinning 1,000 miles an hour around a massive nuclear explosion. Experiences every day, every day, every day. Psychedelic experiences every day, every day, every day. Psychedelic experiences every day, every day, every day. Monkeys in space. Monkeys in space. Psychedelic experiences every day, every day, every day. Psychedelic experiences every day, every day, every day. Psychedelic experiences every day, every day, every day. Monkeys in space. Monkeys in space.
We need to know who the competent people are, and we need to inform them. And even more importantly, we need to tell young people, hey, there's some hierarchies of competence out there. Like 1,000 of them. Go be a plumber, man. Be a good one, you know? Be an honest one. Because otherwise all you do is go out there and cause trouble. We don't need people to cause more trouble. We need people to solve problems. Solve problems. We need people to solve problems. Solve problems. Solve problems. We need people to solve problems. Go be a plumber, man. Go be a plumber, man. Be a good one, you know? You know, and so you can be a tradesman, and you can make a lot of money as a tradesperson. It's a bloody, reliable, honorable, forthright, productive way of making a living. And there is a hell of a lot of difference between a working man who knows what he's doing and one who doesn't. Both in terms of skill and ethics, right? And you work with someone who knows what they're doing, it's a bloody pleasure. They tell you what they're going to do, they tell you how much it will cost, they go and do it, it works, and you pay them. Perfect. Everyone's happy. And that's what happens when you have genuine hierarchies of competence. We don't need people to cause more trouble. We need people to solve problems. We need people to solve problems. We don't need people to cause more trouble. We need people to solve problems. Go be a plumber, man. Go be a plumber, man. Go be a plumber, man. Be a good one, you know? Be a good one, you know? My daughter was very ill. She had juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, and she was between the ages of 14 and 16. It first destroyed her hip, which had to be replaced, and then it destroyed the ankle on her other leg, which had to be replaced. She walked around for 2 years on broken legs, and she was taking massive doses of opiates and could hardly stay awake, and she had this advanced autoimmune disease, which produced all sorts of other symptoms that were just as bad as the joint degeneration, but which are harder to describe. And so it's just bloody brutal. You know, and as a test of your faith, there's almost nothing that's more direct than a serious illness inflicted upon an innocent child. But what to do in a situation like that? Because everyone is going to have a situation like that in some sense. You know, you'll be faced with illness and people that you love. And one of the things you do when you're overwhelmed by crisis is you shorten your time frame. You can't think about next month. Maybe you can't even bloody well think about next week, or maybe not even tomorrow, because now is just so overwhelming that that's all there is. And that's what you do. You cut your time frame back until you can cope with it. And if it's not the next week that you see how to get through, then it's the next day. And if it's not the next day, then it's the next hour. And if it's not the next hour, then it's the next minute. And you know, people are very, very, very tough. And it turns out that if you face things, you can put up with a lot more than you think you can put up with, and you can do it without becoming corrupt. And she did recover because she figured out what was wrong with her and then took the necessary steps to fix it. She's nothing short of a bloody miracle. You have to be alert when you're suffering. You have to be alert to the beauty in life, the unexpected beauty in life. There's this cat that lives across the street from us called Ginger. Cats really aren't domesticated, eh? Technically speaking, they're still wild animals, but they kind of like people. God only knows why, but they do, you know? And so Ginger will come wandering over and let you pet her. You know, you have to look for that little bit of sparkling crystal in the darkness. When things are bad, you have to look and see where things are still beautiful. I think, and this is sort of what I closed the book with, if we didn't all attempt to make terrible things even worse than they are, then maybe we could tolerate terrible things that we have to put up with in order to exist. And maybe we can make the world into a better place, you know, and it's what we should be doing and what we could be doing because we don't have anything better to do. And that's what the book is about. And that's the end of 12 Rules for Life. Thank you. the other day, you have to realize, you have to know, you have to accept that our lives, your excuses are lies. Think about the lies you use to rationalize taking the easy road. Taking the easy road and leaving discipline behind. Your excuses are lies. Think about them. You don't have time. That's a lie. You don't have support. That's a lie. You don't have the equipment or the gear. Lies. You don't know the best way. Who cares? That's a lie. Or you're too old, or you're too young. Of course, you're too old, you're too young. Lie. And there's, you're too busy. Sure you are. That's a lie. Your excuses are lies. Your excuses are lies. Think about the lies you use to rationalize taking the easy road. Taking the easy road and leaving discipline behind. Your excuses are lies. And you're too tired, or you're too sore, or you're just plain not feeling it. Lies, lies, lies. And the list goes on and on and on. And it doesn't stop if you don't make it stop. So recognize the excuses are not valid. They aren't. They're trumped up. They're conjured up. They're fabricated. They're lies. Your excuses are lies. Your excuses are lies. Think about the lies you use to rationalize taking the easy road. Taking the easy road and leaving discipline behind. Your excuses are lies. And how do you stop the lies? You stop the lies with the truth. The truth. The truth will set you free. The truth will stand, and the truth will deliver you from procrastination and laziness and the downward spiral that comes with a lack of discipline. So, don't believe the lies, believe the truth. But the truth is, you have time. You have the skill, you have the knowledge and the support and the willpower and the discipline to get it done. So, cast out the lies, burn them down, and listen to the truth. Then live the truth and go out and get it done.
Akira.
A lot of people say, oh, I just want to they're kind of dabbling in the idea of improving themselves. And the real way to do it is you got to write down what the fuck you want and then go after it. You're in the part of the movie that starts and it shows you as a fucking loser. Just decide not to be a loser anymore.
Just decide not to be a loser anymore.
Live your life like there's a documentary crew following you around and you are analyzing your own behavior. Do what you would want to do so that your kids one day would look back at it and see that documentary and look on it with pride like, wow, my dad was a bad motherfucker. My dad was a bad motherfucker. He really did what he had to do. Wow, my mom really got her shit together. Those are my favorite stories. I love a success story, but even more than a success story, I like a dude who fucks his life up and then gets it back together again story. Those are my favorite stories. Those are my favorite stories. Like, wow, my dad was a bad motherfucker. Those are my favorite stories. I love a success story, but even more than a success story, I like a dude who fucks his life up and then gets it back together again story. And the way to do that, you gotta write shit down. You gotta think that you are the hero in your own fucking movie, and then you gotta sit down and you gotta write shit down. Write down what you need to do.
Most people play the role of the victim in the movie.
Sure, yeah, this life is fucking me over, man. I could have had this and I should have had that. And why does this guy get that? And why does that guy get this? And all things that are completely unrelated to you. All things that you find other people's success as a downfall in your own existence. Instead of being inspired and choosing to be positive, trying to achieve whatever the fuck you have written down, you just sit around and spiral. Those are my favorite stories. Those are my favorite stories. Like, wow, my dad was a bad motherfucker. Those are my favorite stories. I love a success story, but even more than a success story, I like a dude who fucks his life up and then gets it back together again story. There's nothing more miserable than sitting around someone who's fucking complaining all the time. It is one of the most annoying things ever. Everybody hates it. When someone just sits around and they complain about their life and they don't do jack shit about it. And you tiptoe around it, you don't know what to say. Well, she gets upset when you bring that up. I don't want to bring that up. And you want to go, you fucking crazy bitch, you know what's wrong with your life. Stop announcing it to everybody else and go on, fix that shit. Fix that shit. Fix that shit. Bitch, you know what's wrong with your life. Stop announcing it to everybody else and go on, fix that shit. My dad was a bad motherfucker. He really did what he had to do. Wow, my mom really got her shit together. Those are my favorite stories. I love a success story, but even more than a success story, I like a dude who fucks his life up and then gets it back together again story. Those are my favorite stories. Those are my favorite stories. Like, wow, my dad was a bad motherfucker. Those are my favorite stories. I love a success story, but even more than a success story, I like a dude who fucks his life up and then gets it back together again story.
Therefore, take no thought for the morrow, for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof.
I spent a long time trying to figure out what that meant too, because it's another one of those lines that can easily be read as pro-grasshopper and anti-ant. Remember the old fable of the grasshopper and the ant? Maybe not. I'm not going to tell it. But the ant works and the grasshopper fiddles. The ant has a pretty good time in the winter and the grasshopper dies. So this is like a pro-grasshopper line, but it's not. It says something else. It says that if you orient yourself properly and then pay attention to what you do every day, that works. That works. That works. That works. And you can live in the day. You're a creature that has a name. It has to have a name. That makes every moment super current to me. Live in the day. You're a creature that has a name. It has to have a name. That makes every moment super current to me. The world shifts itself around your aim. You're a creature that has a name. You have to have a name in order to
so that way you get to have your cake and eat it too. Because you can point into the distance, the far distance. Point into the distance, the far distance. And you can live in the day. You know, that has an aim. That has to have an aim. That makes every moment supercharged and meaning. Live in the day. You're a creature that has an aim. That has to have an aim. That makes every moment supercharged and meaning. If everything that you're doing is related to the highest possible aim that you can conceptualize, that's the very definition of the meaning and the sustaining of your life. Well, then the issue is back to Noah. Well, all hell's about to break loose. The chaos is coming. It's like, when that's happening in your life, you might want to be doing something that you regard as truly worthwhile. Because that's what will keep you afloat when everything is flooded. And you don't want to wait until flood down to start doing that. Because if you are downhill and you don't know how to captain it, the probability is very high that you'll drown. And you can live in the day. You're a creature that has an aim. That has to have an aim. That makes every moment supercharged with meaning. Live in the day. You're a creature that has an aim. That has to have an aim. That makes every moment supercharged with meaning.
You once said that if you were growing up in this generation that you would have a field day because you would take their souls. What did you mean by that?
The younger generation quits. Not everybody. So I gotta put it, people get their butt hurt. So not everybody. Most of this generation quits the second they get talked to. It's so easy to be great nowadays. Most people are weak. This is a softened generation. So if you have any mental toughness, any ability, if you have any fraction of self-discipline, the ability to not want to do it, but still do it. And I hate to run. And what makes me so crazy, people go, well, why do you run if you hate it? What are you talking about? I don't want to take showers and eat either. I hate that too. That's life, man. It wasn't until I changed that mentality that I became somebody. I hated going to school, so guess what? I was dumb as shit. 1 + 1 is 2. But if you can get through to doing things that you hate to do, on the other side is greatness. 1 + 1 is 2. But if you can get through to doing things that you hate to do, on the other side is greatness. On the other side is greatness. 1 + 1 is 2. But if you can get through to doing things that you hate to do, on the other side is greatness. On the other side is greatness. That's what people understand. By me running, I am callous in my mind. I'm not training for a race. I'm training for life. I'm training for the time when I get that 2 o'clock in the morning call that my mom is dead or something happens tragic in life. I don't fall apart. I'm training my mind and my body and my spirit so it's all one, so I can handle what life is gonna throw at me. Because the life I've lived throws a whole bunch at you. And if you're not physically and mentally prepared for that, you're just gonna crumble. other side is greatness. On the other side is greatness. 1 plus 1 is 2. But if you can get through to doing things that you hate to do, on the other side is greatness. On the other side is greatness.
What do you do on the days when you're just not feeling it?
Akira.
Those days. Those days. Those days when I'm tired or worn out or just basically sick of the grind. What do I do on those days? I go anyways. I get it done. Even if I'm just going through the motions, I go through the motions. I don't really want to work out. I work out. I really don't want to hammer on a project. I hammer on the project. Don't really want to get up and get out of bed.
I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, I get up and get out of bed. Those days. Those days. Those days. Those days. Now, these could be signals that you need some time off. And those signals might be right. They could be correct. But don't take today off. Not today. Wait until tomorrow. Don't give in to the immediate gratification that is whispering in your ear. Shut that down. Do not listen to that little voice. Instead, go through the motions. Lift the weights. Sprint the hill. Work on the project. Get out of bed. Lift the weights. Sprint the hill. Work on the project. Get out of bed. Those days. Those days. Those days. Those days when I'm tired or worn out, I get it done. Those days. Those days. As an overall rule, I do not like procrastination. You need to get things done, but if you are going to rest, that is one thing that you should procrastinate on. That's the one thing I want you to put off until tomorrow. And if, when tomorrow comes, you still feel like you need to rest or you need to take a break, then okay, take it. But the chances are you won't. You won't need that rest. Chances are you will realize that the desire to rest was just weakness. It was just the desire to take the path of least resistance, the downhill path, the easy path. And by simply going through the motions, you overcame that path. And you stayed on the righteous path, the disciplined path. You stayed on the war path, which is right where you know that you belong. Those days. Those days.
Akira.
The God.
He's got clout.
These are the buttons for the user interface. These are the buttons for the user interface. First, you must accept the frame, at least as a filter. You should accept that systems work better than goals. Systems work better than goals. Talent stacking, affirmations, the mating instinct, fear, curiosity, novelty, contrast, repetition and simplicity, repetition and simplicity, repetition and simplicity, repetition and simplicity, the fake because, pacing leading, aspiration, association, pattern recognition, visualization, pattern recognition, visualization. These are the buttons for the user interface. These are the buttons for the user interface. First, you must accept the frame, at least as a filter. You should accept that systems work better than goals. Systems work better than goals. Talent stacking, affirmations, the mating instinct, fear, curiosity, novelty, contrast, repetition and simplicity, repetition and simplicity, repetition and simplicity, repetition and simplicity, the fake because, pacing leading, aspiration, association, pattern recognition, visualization, pattern recognition, visualization. These are the buttons for the user interface. 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 This is my lesson. I hope this was useful. This is the sort of lesson that might not change you tonight, but it's never gonna leave you. But it's never gonna leave you. Once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. You're all changed, you don't know it yet. And this will become sort of a, let's say, a framework that you now have added to your mental map. And now when you see things that fit that framework, it will get stronger over time. And so you'll see that this view of the world will take root, and then every time you compare it to the old way you saw, you're gonna say to yourself, wow, is that a coincidence? Because this new way of looking at the world just feels like it predicts better. But I'll keep an eye on it. So this will get stronger and stronger over time, and maybe never stop getting stronger. These are the buttons for the user interface. 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 Feel free to refer back to this often, and I think you've got everything you need now to author your own life. You're no longer a victim of reality. You are no longer the subject of reality. You're now an author. You're now an author. You're no longer a victim of reality. You are no longer the subject of reality. You're now an author. Some of you were already authors, and now you're better authors. And those of you who didn't know you could be an author of your reality, well, you just found out. And I will leave you on that, and you can have a terrific night tonight, and the rest of your life is looking good. These are the buttons for the user interface. These are the buttons for the user interface.
He's got clout.
This is from Friedrich Nietzsche. Now, of course, you probably know that he was the philosopher who announced the death of God. What he meant by that was that the fundamental metaphysics that underlie Western culture had lost their foundation. And that the consequence of that would
Thank you.